Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this Kid Coders program. Let's start our program here. It looks like we have 5 people who are attending this program. So this is the session 2 for Scratch platform, Scratch technique that we did last Tuesday. And I would like you to go to your application here. And then if you already have the login, I would like you to log in with your credentials. So last time we talked about how we can sign out and we can make a login by yourself. So this is my username. So I have created a username for me so that I can save all the things that I'm doing. Okay, so yeah, so let's start the program. So tonight we'll be doing the second session of Scratch. Last week we did Scratch for some of the programs here, and then I showed you how to use some of the technique in Scratch and how you can write your own coding. And now I'm sharing some screens. I'm sorry, I'm sharing my screen. I'm going to show you how we can do some more advanced things in the Scratch. Okay, so first of all, go to the URL for Scratch platform. And if you have your account, you can log in with your account. And then also you will see your username here. So this is my username, mjuneja2. My name is Mohit. I'm a community learning specialist at DoSpace, and we have been doing all of our programs digitally. And this is the series of Kid Coders, and we are doing Scratch today for our coding program. So if you have logged in on your account, then you go here in the username, and then we go to My Stuff. So My Stuff is the place where you will be able to see all the things you have. She needs to talk for a second. Okay, let me go back here and allow you to talk. So we are going to start. As I understand, maybe we have new people here who were not there last time. So I'm going to show you some of the things that we did last time. We'll give it a very brief view for like 15 minutes for the first session of the class. And then for the last session of the class, which is the bigger part of the class, we are going to tell you in the second part of the session that how we are going to do more advanced things. So I have more things today, that how you can make different question answers on your Scratch platform. So for example, if I'm a teacher and I'm making a presentation for kids, I can create a thing that I can include asking questions on the screen. And then we have also things how we can add if and else statements, and how we can do more things in the sense of including more motions and loop. So what I'm also going to show you today, how you can include different loops for different sounds. So if you have more sounds that you can include in your video that you're making, you can make it on loop for how many times you want. And you can also ask for it to wait for a few seconds, and then you can start it. Okay, so I just got the message that they have found the username and password. Perfect. So let's start and go ahead. So as you guys see here, that this is my platform here. This is my Scratch. I'm just moving out of the way. Okay, so this is my the URL. This is My Stuff. So whenever you are logged in, you can go here, click on this drop down always to see what is your profile look like. So you can add some information to your profile. You can click on My Stuff. You can click on account setting and sign out. Sign out is when you are done working. You can, if you are using it on a public computer, I would always suggest to sign out from all the applications that you're using. So you don't want people to see what you are doing. So always sign out when you are using on public computer specifically. And if you are using your own computer, it doesn't matter much. You can or you cannot, wherever you want. So, and then after you click here, click on My Stuff. And after My Stuff, you will see all of the things, all of the projects that you have done in the past. It saves by itself. So as you will see, I have dance that I was working, last time, and I worked on some of it today. And then I have so you can name them, and you cannot, if you will not name them, they will be untitled by itself. So untitled 2. And this is the cognitive load I worked in 2018 for a project, and it has a very big code. So last time we discussed, we can make a very big code and we can make things looking very complicated, which are going in the front end. So it includes a very huge code inside to make sure how it works. And then this is what we worked on last time, and the dance I was working on today. So I'm going to show you a few things in the dance again. So whenever you are on this project here, on this page on my stuff, so you can see here all the things you have done, and you can click on the specific one you want to work on, or you can create a new one by clicking on new project here on the right hand side. So you can click on new project if you want to start a new one with me, and I can answer any of your questions if you have. And if you want to work on the projects you have, some of the existing maybe, so you can click on those projects. So I'm going to click on the dance one that I already have been using. And then when you click on the existing one, and then always click on see inside. So see inside is the place where you will see all the code. And this is the name. So you can change name here if you want to change name. So for example, if I want to write a dance one, I can choose a dance one. So I can choose, I can write whatever, I can rename it whatever I want. And then I can also publish it to public. Like there's a community on Scratch platform. People, they share on each other projects. So you can share it to public, and then people will like it, comment it, and you will see how many people they have seen it. Okay, so let's click on see inside here, where I can see what all are the codes that I'm using. So these are the codes that I was trying to do in the day to give you more detail, more explanation about all the advanced coding that we can do here. So before we go for the advanced coding, I'm going to show you some of the basic stuff to give you a review. So this is your Scratch platform look like this. And so on the very top, you have your username and the drop down that we just discussed: profile, my staff, account setting, and sign out. And then we have here see project pages, which is see inside. And then dance one is the place where you can rename your things. Tutorials is if you want to go to tutorials, you can see Scratch already has so many things to teach you by itself. So you click on tutorials, you can see different pages and different projects that you can do by yourself. And then there's a file, you can rename it and all those things here. And on the right hand side, you will see the character and the background here. So character and the background is like what we choose from the coding, and also it is going to tell you what are the things that you can do from here on the left hand side, and then it will changes the code here. So which means is on the left hand side we have code, costumes and sounds. So code is a place where you code things, like you can write all of these codes. So Scratch platform is based upon drag and drop coding, and drag and drop coding is Java based. Java is a language of coding, so this is Java based coding. And this Scratch and drag and drop coding Scratch platform has been developed by MIT. And these are all the codes where you see here, and they have color coded in order to differentiate between all these codings. So if you see motion, you can go on each one and you can see there's motion, there's looks, there's sound, events, controls, sensing operators, and my blocks and everything. So every one of them, they are color coded. So if I am on, yellow, so events are yellow. If I am on blue, so sensing is blue. If I am on green, operators in green. So why they have been color coded? In order to differentiate what kind of coding we are using. That makes it easy for us. So, and then the most important thing, we should start here from how to choose a sprite. So whenever you want to choose a sprite for your character, you click here. Do you see this option? I should show that again to you. So this is a place here where it says choose a sprite. So whenever you go here, it will give you an option to choose a sprite. And if you click on choose a sprite, it will open a new window for you. And there are so many options here. There are options for animals, people, fantasy, dance, music, sports, food, fashion, letters, and so many of them. And you can click it by search option from here too. So this is how you choose your character. What is my blocks? Perfect, Elena, you know everything how to do. Yeah, we did that. So my blocks is you can create your own blocks. So you can make your own code by yourself. So that was make a block is. So and then yeah, so choose a sprite is very good job. If you know all of this, you know it's very good job. I would suggest you to practice more and more, and you know make nice things. You can do unlimited things. You can do different combination of coding. You can make your things move. And I'm going to show you some new things today, so you can integrate all those things in your projects that you have been doing or you want to do. So choose a sprite is here, and the one very important thing I would like to tell you is that you can upload your own images too. For example, if you have an image of your dog, image of your cat, or maybe if you have an image of yourself, yes, this is a very nice thing that you can make small videos and small animation by your own video. You can even upload by your own video. So how do you do it? You go here, you click on choose a sprite, and you go on the last option here, which says upload sprite. So upload sprite is where you can choose your own picture. So whenever you click on choose upload a sprite, this will go to all the pictures you have on your computer. So you can choose one from here and click on open, and you will see the things. You will see your image here. You will see the image that you want to upload will come here, and you can make your so we have a chat message here. I don't understand this. So anyways, thank you so much. So yeah, so you can upload from here, and then you can play with your own images. And then the option here at the back is a choose a backdrop. Choose a backdrop is whatever you have in the background. So for example, I have a character of ballerina already selected here. I selected it from here. And then also I have a backdrop. So my backdrop is a theater image. So you can choose different backdrops from here. And you can also create a backdrop by yourself. You can paint it and you can create one by yourself. You can choose it, and you can also upload a backdrop. Upload is also where you want to have, for example, if you want to make an animation of your pet in backyard of your house, so you can select a picture of your pet as a sprite, and you can also upload a backdrop of your backyard as a backdrop. So that will be also very interesting to see your cat running or your dog running in the backdrop in your house. So you can make an animated video by doing coding like this. And you can also choose more than one sprite. If you want to play with two of them, you can also do that. And if you want to have more than one background, so I have like 3 backgrounds here already. So you can choose 3 backdrops or whatever, how many you want, you can use that. Okay, so this was the all explanation about how to do the very basic thing. So this is how you choose a sprite from here, and this is how you choose a backdrop from here. And then then you can start coding. Then you can go ahead and start coding on your project. So how do you start coding here is, as I told you, it's a drag and drop coding. And then it's a drag and drop coding, so you have to drag blocks here, and then you bring the blocks. So this portion here is where you make different combination of coding, and it works for you. So whenever you want to make a different coding, different type of code to work on something, you always take this here, and then if you don't want this, you can also delete it by just dragging it back. So if you drag it back, it just gets deleted. Okay, so in order to start coding for your characters, for your backdrop, always you have to start with events. So always click on event to start a specific, because every coding would start with some of your initiation from any of your projects. For example, I have here, it's one of when green flag is clicked. So there's a green flag here. Do you see it's a sign to go. So whenever you click it, it will initiate the code that you're writing. And this is to stop the coding. So when I take this, when clicked, and then I'm writing a very basic code to show you how it works. So for example, if I take looks, if I go to looks here, and then if I say hello for 2 seconds, and then I can, and then, you can, whatever you see in the white, you can change it. For example, if it says hello, if I want to change it, I can change it to hi or whatever I want to. Or if I want, I can write I am, so I can write any name. My name is Maya or I am Maya. So I can just change anything whatever I want, and I can change the duration of these seconds too. So if I want to show it for 4 seconds, I can change it to 4 seconds. So you can start if you are very, if you are very new and that you haven't worked with oh, let me see if I'm on maximum on my volume here, and then I'm now making sure that my computer is close to me in order you can hear me. I hope this will help. Okay, so yeah, so I was saying if you are a very new, you are using Scratch for the first time and you haven't used it much, so always start writing a code with the very basic thing. So right now, just like I'm writing a code which is very easy, which says when clicked, and then say I am Maya for 4 seconds. So this is a 2-line code, which is very easy code. So in order to work on this code to see if this code works, I have to click on this green option here because my code is when green flag is clicked. So I'm click on green flag here, and then it says I am Maya here. So it's saying I am Maya for 4 seconds. So that's the code that I just wrote code for a very small 2-line codes. And I can change my trigger. So if I go to event, I can change my trigger. So for example, if I don't want to use a green flag, if I want to use something else. So let's say if I want to say any click to be pressed on my computer, so I will choose when space key pressed. So now this project will work when I will click on space key. Or whenever you see a drop down here, anywhere you see a drop down in drag and drop coding, it means there are more options. So if you click on drop down, you will see there are so many options here. So you can choose basically any key on your computer, on your laptop, whatever you are comfortable with. For example, if I want to say up arrow, so I can choose it to up arrow. And then if I want to see this code works, I click on green, always to go, and then I have to click on up arrow, and then it will say, I am Maya for 4 seconds. So this is how you write a very, simple code, specific code for 2 lines or 3 lines. Always start writing with, these kind of code, and you can always include sounds. For example, if I want to play a different sound, I will just attach this. And always remember when there's a drop down, you can choose different sounds. So you can record your own sound. So for example, if I want to say, hey, my name is Maya, and then I want to record my sound, and this will, so it's asking me to, let's try this. Hi, my name is Maya. Hi, my name is Maya. Yeah, so that just worked for me. So perfect. So I just created the record sound and I can use it recording one. This is very interesting. You can just, have a backdrop of your backyard, and then you have your cat, or you can have your dog, and then you can, record their sound, and then you can make a specific video for them with their sound. So yeah, so I was talking about writing a small code from here and then see if your small code works. And then when you are done writing with the small codes, and then you can also, record your sounds from here, and then you can also include those sounds. And always remember when you are working with the drag and drop coding that your code should be, fixed with each other like this. So you always want to make sure that whenever you are working with more than one block of coding, always remember they adjust with each other like this. Only then the code is going to work. Otherwise, the code is not going to work. So just try to write some of the code by yourself, and then make sure you start with a code from the event. So always try to take one of these from here so that you can start your event. It doesn't matter, you can choose any of them. You can choose any of the key, or you can choose when the sprite is clicked. And then always try to write a small code from the looks or from the sound or from the motion. So let's talk about motion now. We have talked about looks and the sound, and we haven't talked about the motion. So the motion is whenever you want to make your sprite move. For example, if I want my ballerina, so I have a character is called ballerina. If I want to move her, different angle. For example, if I click here and then I go to events and I choose. So if I drag this together and my click is when right arrow is clicked, turn 15-degree angle, and then I'm going to do another one which says when left arrow is clicked, then going to move 15-degree on the other side. So motion is always where you will see move different steps, and then you can also choose if you want your character to move to a specific position. So you can divide them into the coordinates, and you can make into different directions and all those things. So I'm going to choose turn to another direction for 15-degree, and I'm going to choose this for left arrow. Yeah, that is correct. So now if I click on this green, and then my code is for right and left or moving my ballerina. So you see my ballerina is moving now. So if I want, I can create motion to my characters, my sprite, and I can make them make them see that they're moving or they're dancing or they're doing motion, so they can move 10 steps to some direction or come back, move forward. If you can also choose if on edge bounce. So so there are so many options here, and you can also choose direction for different positions. So you can try all of this with the different motion and different angles. And always remember that whenever you're working on more than two blocks, always remember they fit in each other. Also, always use event code here, event block here, so that can initiate the coding that you want to do. Okay, I hope all of us are creating something, working on some projects here. I have a message. Let me see if I have a. Wow, good job. Thank you so much. Yeah. So these are the very simple basic coding. Let's talk about some of the advanced coding stuff that I'm going to show you today. So for the advanced coding, let's start with the let's start with the question. So I have a code here written which says, when up arrow key pressed, ask what's your name. So this is a specific code for people, when they want to do something, which is they want to add something into their presentation, or specifically teachers when they are making presentations for students. So let me change this to different code because I cannot have, always remember yeah, sorry, just happened. Yeah, so always remember, if I'm space here, I have to have different key here. And then also have when space key pressed to switch backdrop to the next background. So yes, so I'm going to talk to you about, this. Let's try to use this one different. Okay, so I have two codes here. So I have one code when space key is pressed, switch backdrop to the next backdrop. So as I told you, I have three backdrops. So I can write a code so I can change clothes of my sprite. Also, I can change clothes for my ballerina, and I can also change backdrop, like background of what I am working on my project. And another code, the more advanced code is how when up arrow is pressed, I can ask what's your name, and then can wait and also answer it. So let's see how this code works. So always click on the green thing to make sure to start this. Now I'm going to click on space, and you see the backdrop is changing. So I have three backdrops here. The one is this one with the curtains, and then one is normal white backdrop, nothing in it, and the third one is spotlight. So I can write a code. So this is a next level code where you can choose to have different backdrops for your project, and you can also, in the pretty similar way, if you go to looks, you can also choose switch costume. You see it here on the left hand side, it says switch costume to ballerina D, and you can see all the options here. So these are different costumes for all the character, I'm sorry, for the sprite you are using. So if you use this code like this, then your character will start changing clothes. So right now I have a code to change backdrop. So whenever I click on space, I can change backdrop. And then I have another advanced code which says, then up arrow key pressed, ask what is your name and wait. So I'm going to So this is the thing I was talking about. Whenever you want to include question answers in your project, whenever, if you are a teacher and you're making it for students, and if you want to make it interactive, and if you want to write, and if you are kids, and you are using it for fun games for each other. For example, if I am a kid and I'm making it for my friend, and then I can make things like this for him or her to make sure how it works. And then also it can be more interactive as a coding in your project. And I can also type it. So it says, what's your name? And then I can type it with my code, my name, Mohit, and I can click on this green. And whenever I click this goes here, answer Mohit. And then you can have multiple of this. It's just one, you can have multiple name for different friends you have. So I'll show you one more time. For example, I just clicked up arrow, and always remember when there's a drop down, you can choose different keys from here. And you can also, use different combination of keys for all the codes that you're doing. So I'm using up arrow key, and I pressed up arrow key. What's your name? So ballerina is asking you, what's your name? So I can just say, I can say a different name this time. So I can say Dan, and then I click, and this would be Dan here. So this is like one step further if you want to work on your coding on a project, and then you can include all the coding stuff in the same project, and you can make it more interactive, and you can make it more lively, and it looks like real, that ballerina is dancing and it asking you questions, and she's doing different things, and background is changing, and she's changing her dress, what she's dancing in, and all those things. So the other thing that I would like to show is in the events, if you go, it's in control. So if you go in control, then you can also use blocks like wait for some second. So for example, I can use it here. So when I am going to use up arrow, for example, if I want to give delay to some of the events that I'm doing. So I am doing an event on my presentation, which is what's your name? And then I am also want to delay it for a few seconds. So for example, if I want to delay it for 3 seconds, and then I want to ask ballerina to what is your name? First to wait for 3 seconds, and then ask what's your name. So if I click on green here to go, and I click on up arrow, then ballerina is going to wait for 3 seconds, and then she's going to ask you what's your name. And you can do it for, you can use this control for anything you would like. So one of the idea is, if you are waiting for, if you're making a project with your pet, and then you want your pet to wait for 5 seconds and then move, or if you want to, if you pet to wait for like 3 seconds and then make a sound, you can use this block wherever you want. And then there's a wait until. You can also use this one for things. So this is all about control. You have all all the control blocks here in the blocking section, and you can use all of them. And then I would like to talk about another thing, which is repeat. This is also very interesting. Actually, I have one of us here. So so this is if you want a different sound, for example. For example, we have a recording one. If I want, ballerina to say, just repeat her name over and over. So always remember, I would like to start with some kind of trigger here. So let's do it with B. So I'm going to say, let's repeat it for 3 times. So so if you are writing a project and if you have made a part of the project and then you want to happen that part of the project again and again, what you can do is that you can use this repeat block. So you can use it repeat for forever. You can repeat it for a certain number of time, and you can repeat it for a certain duration of time also if you want. So let's see how it works. So if I'm going to press B here, see, it repeated itself. She repeated herself for 3 seconds. So you can record whatever you like, and then you can, or for anything. It can be for a movement. It can be movement. So if I want to use, repeat here again in any of the movements that I'm going to show, let's say if I want to put repeat here in the 15-degree angle, let's say repeated 3 times. So if I click here and then I click on right arrow, she's going to repeat for 3 times. See, and if I click, keep pressing it, it will just keep repeating her. So you can use these small control codes for whatever you want to. You make it more, your project more interesting, and things you would like to do, and then you can also do forever. And then there's another also option, which is if and else statement. That's also very important, and it's very important for kids to understand logic questions. So if I have one of the option which says, and then you can use it like for bigger options too. So for example, if I have, I can choose any of, if I want to say, if B is greater than A, I can use a different combination here, then move 10 steps. Or if I want to use it a bigger one, then I can use this one instead of this. And then I can use, if this is true, then move 10 steps. And if it is not true, which means else. So the theory about if and else is, one thing can be true. So one thing is true, then do move 10 steps. And if that is not true, which means it's false, then turn 15-degree angles to any direction. So this is right hand side, so you can choose any of it. So you can make different combinations of, in the event section, there are so many, I'm sorry, in the control sections, there are so many codes here. And then you can also do repeat until, and you can also actually use stop all the process. So if your project is working and you want to stop all the movements at one time, you can use stop all, or you can just use the script and other script in the Sprite. So as I told you, you can choose two sprites, more than one. So you can just choose one of the specific sprite to stop for the specific purpose. And then one other thing that I would like to tell you is you can also work on different things on the sprite from here. Actually, I should have told you in the starting that this is all the Sprite section here. You see the name is Sprite Ballerina 2, and these are the coordinates. So it means Ballerina is 30 unit far from the x0, and she is -4 far from y0. And then her size is 100. If you want to change, if you do not like change, size of your ballerina or sprite or character, whatever you're using, what you can do is you can go here and you can change the size. So I can just 150 and then click enter, the size will increase. Or you can also decrease it. If I think it is too big, I can make it smaller here, and I can change it this way too. And this is about the directions. So you can make all the changes from here. And then you can also, what you can do is you can make your sprite disappear. So if you want your sprite to appear at the specific time, you can disappear it from here. and then, you know, this is appear and disappear. So you can make different changes from it too. Looks like we have a question here. Let me see.
So I've been in a coding club, and I saw this something where it changed the background, but it had a sprite in the background. I'm wondering how you put the sprite in the background.
So sprite in the back, yeah, that's what I was talking about. If you want to put the sprite in the background, this is a show and unshow. So these are the options here. So if I want to put this in the background, and you mean sprite was not able, you were not able to see the sprite, correct?
So there's somebody I was exploring, and I was looking at their code, and their sprite was literally in the background in the art place. And I don't know how to do that because I've been trying to draw things and.
Yes, yes, you can draw things from here. So this is the paint option here.
Mm-hmm.
On the so if you go to sprite, choose a sprite, you can surprise. So surprise is the code here where you can put this like it will the same character. You can drag it anywhere you want, and then also you can paint if you want. You can click here. So this is the option to paint. You can draw your sprite by yourself, and you can draw it behind the curtains.
Oh,
So
I see.
yeah, so you can draw it behind the curtains, and or you can also drag it. So for example, let's go to code. And then if you want to just, you know, your sprite to be invisible for the specific amount of time, for example, if I'm working with, sometimes what people do is they work on a bigger projects, and they work with like 3 or 4 sprites. So what they do is they keep 1 or 2 sprites like invisible for the some amount of the time, and then they make it as a surprise that there are more people too. So you can use this show and unshow icon here. So when you click on unshow, this will be disappear, and then it will be show. And then you can also drag it. If I want to be like this, I can drag it wherever I want. And you can you can also choose, you know, something which is, let's see if I can increase this and see if it goes behind this. Yeah, so you can play with more with this, and you will be able to draw, and you will be able to, you know, put things where exactly you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why cannot I talk? But oh, because I unmuted her. She sent me a message that she wanted to talk. So I have like a administrative right on this Zoom, so I can let people mute and unmute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, thank you so much. Yes, so yeah, so these are the different things you can do. And then let's talk about you know, some of the sensing things. So sensing is something where you can, you know, make things with the so for example, we are doing all the control things with pressing A, left arrow key, and right arrow key. And sensing is you can also do you know, touching thing on your sprite. So for example, if I want to touch on my sprite, and then this she will move. And if I can want to change color, how it will change color. So you can try all of the things here in the sensing too. And this also includes on backdrop here. Operator is if you want to have, so whatever you will see like these kind of shapes, like a diamond kind of shape, all of these blocks would be, all of these blocks would go with if and else statement. So if you will see here, this is a, you know, block here, and then you can get here and you can fit this here. And always, as I told you earlier, always remember, you know, the drag and drop coding is always about how you fix blocks into each other. So always try to look for the shape, what can be fitted into each other. Only then the code will be able to work. So there are more, and then my blocks is, someone asked me in the starting, so you can create your own block. So this is how, if you click on a block, like make a block, this is block name. For example, if I want to name this block as direction. Yeah, I think it's good. So add an input, number of text, add an input, add a label. So I can include an input. For example, if I do this, and it depends what kind of, you know, so if you move this here, if you will, you can choose any of three out of these. So for example, if I want to add, as I just told you, this depends on what kind of shape of your block is. So you can choose any of the shape you want, and then you can create. If you think there is not a block, well, there are so many of them, and if you can make different combinations of block, there are so many. You will not be able to use all of them, until you use like a very big project. But then, at some point of time, you think there's not a block that you really want to do. So you click on my block and you create a block by yourself. So, and you can add an input to it, and you can just use that block as a coding block for your project, and your sprite or your backdrop will work according to the block that you have made. So yeah, these are the all things you can do here. And then we already talked. So do you see it saying saving project? So this is a very good thing about, Scratch platform, that it just project save by itself. And you can go to my stuff and you can look for your previous projects that you have worked upon. You don't have to actually save the projects. It just happens by itself. Yeah, so this is all I wanted to talk about today. I hope you had, information, new information, because some of the attendees, they were saying that they know about this. And Scratch is a very, it's a very, I would say, very popular application that uh, people have been using from a long time. So I'm not shocked about this, that most of the students, they have already used it. But then I was trying to show some of the new things. So I hope you have learned some of the new things in this session. And then just try, keep on practicing, and then make new different combinations. And always try to remember that you log in with your credentials, because you do not want to you don't want to lose the project that you have been working on, and it saves by itself. So just log in with your username and your password, and then you can go and see my stuff, and you can work on those projects later too. And then for the next week, we will be making animated videos. uh, so that is also based upon drag and drop coding. It's a project. It's a software. It's a software is called Alice 3, and we'll be working on those. And then I'm going to show you how you can make small animated videos by yourself. And it's pretty much like Scratch, in sense of there's a drag and drop coding, but then there are so many different features, and then the interface is big, and then the themes, there are so many different characters and themes, and so many different things you can do. So yeah, so I hope you guys can come for my next session at the same time next Tuesday, and we can work on the new new application that we'll be learning next week. So I'm here for a few questions if you have, for 5 more minutes. If you have any questions, you can you know write me a message. I can unmute you if you want to talk, or if you want to just write your question, you can write in the question and answer or in the chat box. Yes, now you can unmute yourself. Oh, I unmuted you. You can talk
Sorry.
now.
Am I unmuted?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So I have logged on, and I've actually made a couple posts and stuff, and I actually use Scratch a lot now.
Okay, wow.
I've made a studio.
Perfect.
So in my project, it's a remix, like for the costumes. Is there certain costumes that are like required?
Certain costume required?
Like for changing in costumes, if you make a remix, how do you?
So you were asking some question. Please go ahead. I'm really sorry about this. I don't know what happened.
So I'm doing a remix of somebody else's project. How do you tell like if some costumes are like required to keep it running smoothly, so that it's like it still has the same animations, same movement?
Yeah, so if you want to have like different costumes, I would say to choose different costumes for the same sprite. For example, if you see on the screen, if I have my sprite is ballerina. So if I click here, go to events, in the looks. So if I go to looks, then I will be able to see that ballerina has like 4 different kind of costumes. So A, B, C, D. So if I'm changing costumes on my sprite, I just want to make sure that I choose either A, B, C, or D. I should not choose anyone because that will be a different sprite if I'm going to choose a different sprite. So always, and then some of them they can have more than 4. So for example, let's try one of this. Let's try Abby. Let's see how many she has. So if I go to looks here, and then Abby also has 4, A, B, C, D. Yeah, so if you are changing, costumes, always just make sure just you use any one of these. And if you want to choose like any random that it picks up for you, you can just use this block which says next costume. So it will just choose it will just pick randomly by itself. So it will pick like A, B, C, or D just by itself. So you don't have to specify which one is choosing in its definite next rotation of coding. And then if you want more help on this, what you can do is you can write me an email if you want to, and then I can suggest you how to work on this, or I can show you how the code works. I can give you like more advice on that.
But I do have one question about the My Blocks thing.
Uh-huh.
So for me, I go into My Blocks, and I don't know if it's just because my screen's not big enough, but like it doesn't show the OK thing, and then whenever I hit, like it doesn't show anything for me to continue. So after you hit OK, what does it show? Because it
It will
might
just
show a different thing for me, like OK in the bottom.
yeah yeah let's try this. I think it should just create a block for you. So I'm creating a you see my screen, I'm creating a block which says direction,
Mhm.
and then I'm saying add an input. So add an input number or text. So I'll just say write, and then I click OK. So it just created a block for me. So you see, under my blocks, I have a new block now.
Okay, let
Define
me try
direction.
it on mine and see if that works.
So you're saying it didn't work for you?
It doesn't always work. It sometimes does. All right, so just let me leave this project to make a different one that I can use to test.
Yeah. I mean, it should be working, and then it may be because of the screen. You said it's not big enough so that you cannot click on OK. So if that is so, just try to drag, swipe your screen up and then try to click on OK, and it should work for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep working on this, and then if you can come the next session, I can answer, try to answer more questions if you have.
If you want to see anything from my account that I've already made, then my account is called Dragon Furry with no capitals.
Yeah, can you write that for me? I'll just make a note of it, and then write it on the chat box. So I'll make a note of it, and then if you will, and if you will make all of your projects public, I will be able to go, see all of your projects.
Yes, but the project that I'm working on right now is like not finished. And it's a music video, and I can't wait for like later when it is finished and you can see it because it's really good. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, most of them, they're very, it requires a lot of dedication if you're making a big project. I made a very big one for one of my, classwork, which was a huge project. But then it's not working now because it was a very big, and then something just, it worked for my final presentation, and just something happened after that. I was trying to edit and I was not able to go back to that, bit because it requires a lot of coding for sure.
the song is kind of like a catchy one, and it like shows all of the characters that I've made with
Hmm.
myself in the paint tool, and it's like kind of showing each of them it as a lyric in the song. So like I have a character named Peach, and he's like a little peach-colored cat, and then like he gets the part where it goes, "I'm ready." I don't know.
Oh wow, wow, good job. Yeah, just keep working on this, and then so next week we're going to do Alias 3. I don't know if any one of you know this software. It's also, it will also help you to create small animation videos and also like more characters and more information with the coding and all those things. Yeah, do we have any more questions?
So I did something where you have to click next to see the next background, and I was doing an adopt a dragon because I see many of those around the Explore. I decided to do one of myself, and when I click next, it won't work.
So when you click next, it won't work.
Yeah.
Did you use the coding? Let me see what code did I use for the next one.
I could too.
So I used the switch backdrop to the next backdrop. Did you use this one?
Hold on, I'm still trying to look inside.
Okay. So always try to remember, if you want to go to a next backdrop using the the block is switch backdrop to next backdrop, or you can go to a specific one. It will be all in the looks, I think.
So I'm trying to switch the backdrop to the next backdrop, but it's still a galaxy, but I have 4 galaxy backdrops because I have 4 slides.
So what code did you use? Did you use this one, next backdrop?
I hit when the next sprite is clicked, switch to the next backdrop. I put then switch to galaxy backdrop. So should I put like switch to next backdrop so that it'll work? Because
yes,
they're all.
Yeah, so there are 2 options here. Either you can use, do you see it on my screen? Either you can use this one which says switch backdrop to, if you want a specific backdrop and you don't, you care about what you see on the screen. So you can use this one, switch backdrop to this specific one, and click on the drop down and choose this one.
It works.
And you can also choose next backdrop, so it will keep going to next one.
And I will give you my name so you can see my projects. So
that'll be exciting. Thank you so much for doing that. Let me get a pen and then write your username on the Scratch platform on the chat box. I'll make a note of it, and then I can, if you want, I can give you more advice on your project too. Yeah, well, I have that. Thank you so much. And then just keep working on the projects, and then I'm going to check out, and then if you need any help, email us. I'm writing it for you in the chat box, so it's hello@dospace.org. And you can write my name. You can send this email on here it is, hello@dospace.org, and my name is Mohit. So you can just write an email, and then you can write this email is for Mohit, and I would like to have some help with my project. So I'll be able to see, and then I'll be able to advise you on the projects too. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I'm so happy all of you guys are excited and you want to work on this project and coding thing. I'm so happy about this. Just keep working, and always try to remember, always try to use control in the starting. Like, how do you initiate your coding? Always try to remember, whenever you write multiple block of code, they fit into each other. And always try to remember that whenever you make long codes, choose different backdrops and choose different sprites for more so that it can look more interesting and interactive. Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you next week. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.